It's the Hold Up Show. Let's go.
Cannon.
From Marcy to Madison Square, I came, I saw, I conquered.
Yeah.
From Marcy to Madison Square, I came, I saw, I conquered. From Marcy to Madison Square, from Marcy to Madison Square, I came, I saw, I conquered.
I did it for the love and scene I can elevate. Kill beats, bring flowers. I'm from the Garden State. The cash magnetized is where I gravitate. As I succeed, more haters get the gas face. Won't let them agitate. That was my last mistake. Just let my knuckles in their face play patty cake. Trends never imitate, more initiate. Shining sun of the man behind the pearly gates. That's why the flow godly. You niggas flow hardly. Only check for a few from Queens and one from Marcy. The Remy keep me saucy on my swag surf. I'm copping real estate, let them war over turf. Chicks lift their skirt and say we full of thirst. Sorry your feelings hurt, but at the cash first. Collar and Bashan treated as Duchess and Dawn. So get me pissed off, you getting pissed on. If you don't believe it, you won't achieve it. It's only one way that plenty succeed in. No grind, no shine. You better handle yours, cause I'ma get mine. If you don't believe it, you won't achieve it. It's only one way that plenty succeed in. No grind, no shine. You better handle yours, cause I'ma get mine. I did it for the love and scene I can elevate. Kill beats, bring flowers. I'm from the Garden State. Out Camden, they dropping at alarming rates. But by God's grace, that'll never be my fate. Flow with no rivals, I'm your idol's idol. You know car, but got a funky title. 833, where I bought my first rifle. Bad mouth of dawn, you must be suicidal. I walk blindfold thinking you could see this. Sun look ruffle high, need the nigga chip. Niggas talk big bills, but they counterfeit. On mics, think they nice, expecting me to pay homage. Such nonsense, my vengeance, no conscience. Won't find a nigga hotter on the 7 continents, and that's a promise. No days off, talk smooth with a turbo boost. Black Hasselhoff. If you don't believe it, you won't achieve it. It's only one way that plenty succeed in. No grind, no shine. You better handle yours, cause I'ma get mine. If you don't believe it, you won't achieve it. It's only one way that plenty succeed in. No grind, no shine. You better handle yours, cause I'ma get mine. If you don't believe it, you won't achieve it. It's only one way that plenty succeed in. No grind,
No grind, no shine.
Cause I'ma get mine. If you don't believe it, you won't achieve it. It's only one way that plenty succeed in. No grind, no shine. You better handle yours, cause I'ma get mine. Calhoun gon' get mine. Yeah, I'ma get mine.
Big Jersey. And it is your boy, Boom. And this is the Hold Up Show. Welcome, everybody. Hope y'all are having a blessed Sunday. Hope y'all are all out achieving one step progress into your goals and aspirations in this life. Hope you're being grateful and thankful to the Most High, and hope He is guiding you to be your higher self. So let's get into it. Today is art imitating life. And what is the big obsession with manufacturing godless life, soulless beings? Today we're going to get into a clip that was released late December 2000 or early December 2022 from a company called Ectolife, and it was a conceptual video of how they plan to manufacture babies in artificial fetus, uteruses, whatever you want to call it. Let's get into the video. Hold up. Oops, sorry.
Introducing Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, powered entirely by renewable energy. Ectolife allows infertile couple to conceive a baby and become the true biological parents of their own offspring. It's a perfect solution for women who had their uterus surgically removed due to cancer or other complications. With Ectolife, premature births and C-sections will be a thing of the past. Ectolife is designed to help countries that are suffering from severe population decline, including Japan, Bulgaria, South Korea, and many others. The facility features 75 highly equipped labs. Each state-of-the-art lab can accommodate up to 400 growth pods or artificial wombs. Every pod is designed to replicate the exact conditions that exist inside the mother's uterus. A single building can incubate up to 30,000 lab-grown babies per year. Ectolife allows your baby to develop in an infection-free environment. The pods are made of materials that prevent germs from sticking to their surfaces. Every growth pod features sensors that can monitor your baby's vital signs, including heartbeat, temperature, blood pressure, breathing rate, and oxygen saturation. The artificial intelligence-based system also monitors the physical features of your baby and reports any potential genetic abnormalities. The pods are equipped with a screen that displays real-time data on the developmental progress of your baby. These data are sent directly to your phone so you can track your baby's health from the comfort of your zone. The app also provides you with a high-resolution live view of your baby's development. A special section in the app allows you to watch a time-lapse of your baby's growth.
Well, there we have it. A little bit of information into Ectolife's concept of an artificial womb facility. Now, you see, when the video first started off, they started wanting to speak directly to their target audience and to quickly start to mold and sway your opinion into how vital and good this could possibly be for women who had ruptured uteruses or couples that just are unable to conceive, or, you know, people who have genetic defects that, you know, when inside a mother's womb, the babies are more susceptible to be having defects or whatever the case may be, right? Then they started to target specific nations that are battling quote unquote population problems with replenishing their culture and their ethnicity. So you could see this company probably reaching out to those countries and trying to get them on board for some sort of international funding of some sort, or country funding from those particular countries or whatever. But also, they started to tell you a little bit about the facility and some of the features that come along with using their services for this artificial womb, as far as when they're discussing, you know, the facility has 75 state-of-the-art labs. They can kick out 400, you know, they're growing 400 babies at a time. They didn't necessarily say, you know, how long it would take to incubate those babies or have them go through their cycle. But there's, I believe it said, it was either 35 or 70, 30 or 75,000 babies a year from just one facility, because they emphasized to slip that through that they were referencing one facility could do that. So also they had, you know, showed you that these features is they have sensors, you know, monitoring during the baby's trimester stages of growing and will alert the parents of any defects and things like that. It all sounded very Demolition Man to me. When they put them in that cryo prison and they were in there injecting personality into these prisoners and having them doing certain things so that when they come out they could be more productive citizens. What did Stallone's character, he came out wanting to knit and just do weird stuff, while Wesley Snipes' character came out with karate and jujitsu and how to hack computers and all types of nefarious shit, right? So who's to say that they not weaponizing these artificial womb created babies with your DNA to even monitor you or become sort of a private covert surveillance of you, and eventually, take over your lineage or your family bloodline with, procedures and orders already injected into them through the process of their trimesters. It's all very, weird to me, but I thought it deserved a deeper dive. So I got a few articles that came out around the time of this video because people were such in shock, that we were headed clearly to a concept that was first shown to us in the Matrix of them actually manufacturing godless life and, basically generating them to run certain programs in the Matrix as mindless, soulless beings to some degree, living out a false narrative in the system, but serving a greater purpose in the background of what they were actually created for, to keep them enslaved, keep that energy enslaved, so to say, with also another hidden agenda of just being a power source to continue to generate the Matrix. So it was all very, we thought conceptual at the time, but as you know, we are 40 years behind whatever they're trying to create, and we've heard plenty of stories of celebrities paying to have themselves cloned to do various things at one time, or the elites do that to these quote-unquote celebrity puppets that they handpick that have influence, so just in case they get out of line, they could just send their clones out there to swap out, and they'll be much more easily manageable and controlled under their authority by their handlers, right? Because it always makes you wonder why, when someone gets famous, they get all these weird individuals around them, and then they start wanting to quote unquote call them handlers. You know what I mean? Like, where did these handlers come from, and who gave them authority over your life in such a way that you are no longer in control? You no longer have free will. But that is for another discussion, for another video at another time. So let's get into these articles, right? So let's get into it. The first one that I have was published March 24th, 2023, from the National Library of Medicine, the National Center for Biotechnology Information, right? So let's see what it says. As a library, NLM provides access to scientific literature. Inclusion in NLM database does not imply endorsement of or agreement with the concepts by the NLM or the National Institutes of Health, more Fauci-run organizations. All right. Artificial womb opportunity and challenges for public health. I wish I could zoom up for you guys so you can see a little better, but yeah. I'll read it off for you. According to the WHO, World Health Organization, 15 million babies are born prematurely each year, of which 1 million die due to complications. The need to reduce neonatal mortality has culminated in the development of artificial amnion and placenta technology, commonly known as the artificial womb, which provides an environment for the ectogestation of the fetus. Ever since 1958, when Weston developed the first artificial womb by cannulation of umbilical vessels, this technology has shown remarkable potential for improvement of clinical outcomes in the critically preterm children. Currently, working models of the technology include extrauterine environment for neonatal development, extend by Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Who knew, right? Ex vivo uterine environment, Eve, by Tohoku University and the University of Western Australia. The world's first artificial womb facility, Ectolife, was launched on 9 December 2022 by a filmmaker and science communicator based in Berlin, Germany. The womb has been designed to stimulate all the necessary physiological mechanisms during gestation. Gastrous exchange is performed via extracorporeal membrane oxygenation. A pumpless arterial venous circuit is deployed that drives blood exclusively from the fetal heart and is combined with a low resistance oxygenator. Waste disposal is carried out through dialysis. A polyurethane film based biobag is used and is responsible for sterility, size adjustment, and fluid and space volume efficiency. It can be modified to mimic the dimensions and shape of the uterus with more accuracy, thus providing an analogous alternative to the real womb. Considering the incident and mortality rates of premature deliveries throughout the world, artificial womb technology, AWT, is no less than a boom. It ain't a boom. Don't be booning that. AWT provides the innate environment of a human womb, thereby reducing respiratory struggle incompatible with the premature lungs of the fetus. The impervious seal design mimicking the anotic cavity also reduces the risk of infection. It can be a suitable alternative in cases of placenta insufficiencies, which can lead to preterm labor and intrauterine growth retardation. The health benefits also extend to pregnant women, as this technology provides a safe alternative to high-risk pregnancies and will alleviate the risk of concluding a full-term pregnancy. Women frequently experience pregnancy-related concerns, including anemia, hypertension, mental health issues, and viral infections. Some of these may be fatal to both the mother and the child, but can be prevented with artificial womb technology. The benefits on the social front are also very uplifting. AWT enables infertile couples to conceive a child and become the real biological parents of their child. Moreover, it raises a good proportion of the responsibility of carrying a child, which is otherwise entirely instilled upon the female, allows both parents to share equal responsibilities even before the child is fully born, raising equity amongst both genders. This will help women both physically and will mentally and be more independent. Okay, it must have been a typo. AWT is a helpful alternative to surrogacy for same-sex couples, females who have undergone hysterectomies, or infertile women. So you see that the National Institute of Health and the National Library of Biotechnology is also in unison agreeing with the same talking points that was shared in the Ecto Life video. However, there are still issues that need to be resolved. Technology currently aids in the development of photos only between 13 weeks and before complete gestation, that is 38 weeks, as it cannot facilitate embryo to fetal development. It is bound to be preceded by a surgical extraction of the fetus, which may be associated with complications. The models do not possess the natural ability of the placenta to reduce pulsatile flow from the umbilical artery to laminar flow in the umbilical vein. Furthermore, there is no collective understanding of the long-term psychological and psychological effects of the womb on parents and future offspring, considering the change it will bring to the concept of quote unquote giving birth. So it seems as though that there's concerns about extracting the baby once it's like there's no way to deliver without these complications. It cannot facilitate the embryo to the fetal development. You know what I mean? So they have to come up with some surgical extraction when it's time for the baby to come out of this artificial womb, because it now can't perform quote unquote what it means to give birth, right? So that just makes you wonder right there, like, why would you want to be subject to any of that when you want to bring life into the world? As most mothers will tell you, they are bonding with the child during their pregnancy, of carrying this individual around and feeling it wiggle inside them, and the things that they feed them, and the reactions and the emotions and the just things that we can't see or just can't be explained scientifically that happens when the mother is carrying a child during this gestation period, as they like to call it. Because it says also there's no collective understanding of the long-term psychological and psychological effects that it'll have on the parents and also the offspring as it grows up. And say, finds out that it's a test tube baby, right? It's like, are you really my parents? Or, was I just put together somehow, some way, and y'all just claim me, like bought me off the assembly line? Given the multitude of possible applications, the artificial womb technology is not without ethical concerns. Of course it isn't. The main considerations for the fetus include the consensualism of medical interventions and their legal status, while those for parents include the extent of their autonomy and decision making on behalf of the infant, impact on maternal bonding, cost effectiveness, and accessibility. Even societal arguments about the acceptability of ectogenesis and the regulation of abortion pose a question that should be answered before the release of this technology. A potential, though remotely possible, application of the technology is completely ectogenesis, complete gestation outside the human body. This will greatly affect the sustained human involvement during gestation, making it an extracorporeal event and thus completely transforming the conventional notion of pregnancy. All right. So that is the meat and potatoes. I will be putting the link in the description So then it made me say, hey, I got to go to Ectolife and see what's on their thing, because this saying it's to be launched, right? So when we were first shown this, it was like shock video. Oh, and they were like, oh, fact checkers say this isn't real. This is just AI. This is just, some BS that's being released by someone, right? To cause confusion or fit some agenda, right? The conspiracy theorists of whatever was going on with the airborne fake epidemic that we had, or pandemic, right? So let's go to this is Ectolife's well, this is in their website. This is through biologyinsights.com, right? And this was published July 25th, 2025. So this was published this year, right? So Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, question mark. Ectolife represents a conceptual framework of an artificial womb facility designed for ectogenesis, the gestation of a fetus outside of the human body. The primary purpose is to provide a controlled environment for the fetal development, potentially addressing various challenges associated with the natural gestation. Understanding the Ectolife concept. The Ectolife concept, developed by biotechnologist Haslim Al-Jalali or Galali, envisions a facility containing 75 labs. Each lab is designed to house up to 400 growth pods or artificial wombs. These transparent pods would feature in artificial umbilical cord to supply oxygen and precisely tailor nutrients, hormones, antibodies, and growth factors to the developing fetus. Where are they getting these tailored nutrients, hormones, antibodies, and growth factors? Shouldn't these be coming from the mother or the father's chromosomes, DNA, all that got exchanged during the process of having sex, The system would also manage waste removal with a second bioreactor, recycling waste product and converting them back into fresh nutrients for continuous supply. So they're taking shit and piss and they're bioreacting, recycling it back into the artificial womb somehow. So it's almost like Soylent Green, feeding the dead intravenously to the living. Matrix. Like, you know what I mean? So sensors within each pod will continuously monitor vital signs such as heartbeat, blood pressure, breathing rate, and oxygen saturation. An artificial intelligence system will further monitor the physical features of the baby, reporting any potential genetic abnormalities in real time. The pod would also include internal speakers to play music and words, allowing for language recognition and early learning. Is it going to be the parent's voice at least, or is it going to be the voice of Big Brother giving instructions for how to monitor the parents and all that? Parents could monitor their baby's growth through a dedicated app, which also allows for custom playlists and even sensing kicks via a wireless haptic suit. So you get artificial kicks to your stomach, ladies. Potential applications and advantages. The Ectolife concept proposes several potential applications and advantages for reproductive medicine. One primary benefit would be assisting infertile couples, allowing them to conceive and become biological parents through in vitro fertilization and subsequent gestation in the artificial womb. This could also provide a solution for women unable to carry a pregnancy due to medical conditions. The facility aims to reduce risks associated with pregnancy and childbirth, potentially eliminating complications such as C-sections and premature births. Ectolife also suggests the possibility of a more controlled fetal development, where environment factors could be optimized to ensure the baby receives the best nutrients in an infection-free environment. Such a system could also address declining population rates, offering a means to increase birth rates. An elite package, quote unquote, is envisioned, allowing for genetic engineering to select traits like hair and eye color, height, intelligence, and to correct inherited genetic disease. So, like I said, right? What's stopping them from these attachments during the trimester stages of them to include personality traits and other things? So it's like you're paying for a Build-A-Baby. You know, you get to choose the eye, like you get to choose the eye color, the hair, the height, and the intent. So so that means if you bought a baby on the lower package plan, you know, not the elite package, but the lower package, that baby's going to be dumb, or you know, his his optimum potential is, you know, no more than a trash man or something. Like, you know, no disrespect to trash man, but I'm just saying, like, you know, like, our, you know, he'll be no better than a McDonald's worker. Like, what are we talking about here? Oh man. The only thing that sounded remotely beneficial in here is to correct inherited genetic diseases. This is something that, you know, a trait that you know that you have in your family. Like, I got big ass foreheads or some shit that you could, you know, possibly eliminate that from the DNA of that child. But other than that, the rest of this shit, like, oh man. So, ethical and societal considerations. The concept of the artificial womb, such as ecto-life, raises significant ethical and societal questions. Concerns exist regarding human dignity and the potential impact on the parent-child bond. The detachment from the traditional pregnancy experience could alter perceptions of parenthood and family structures. Yeah, because ecto-life can claim that they own your baby and they're just loaning them to you, and you got to pay a rate for their pod baby, or they want their pod baby back, or they'll have their pod baby, they'll send the signal to his brain to attack your ass. Questions arise about the identity of individuals just stated artificially and their psychological development and environment difference from a biological womb. Accessibility and equity are also major considerations. It is unclear who would have access to such advanced technology and whether it would be exacerbating existing social inequalities. Right. Who's going to be having their hand on the button? Who's going to be in charge of what baby get the what pods get the gift and what pods don't, right? Who's going to be in charge of all that? We've seen enough Westworld when they start turning up shit on these Make-A-Babies, you know, and these clones and these robots. The elite package, quote unquote, allowing for genetic customization includes further ethical dilemmas about designer babies. Yeah, you can get you a Gucci baby. And the potential for a new form of eugenics, right? A word that we know Bill Gates loves, right? While the concept suggests benefits like avoiding inherited genetic diseases, the ability to select for traits like intelligence or physical strength is highly complex and raises profound moral questions about human manipulation. These discussions highlight the need for careful consideration of long-term societal implications of such reproductive technologies. Okay, current status and future prospects. Ectolife remains purely a conceptual design by Hazlim Al-Ghalia and is not a functioning or approved technology. The project is intended to spark discussion about the progression of science and reproductive technology. For such a concept to become a reality, immense scientific and technological hurdles will need to be overcome, meaning legal and who's going to fund it. While some individual scientific components have a basis in current research integrating them into a fully functional and safe artificial womb capable of sustaining human life from conception to full term is a monumental challenge. There are no established scientific protocols for the exact combination of nutrients, hormones, and growth factors required for complete human fetal development in an artificial environment. Regulatory and ethical frameworks will also need to be developed and agreed upon globally, making it widespread adoption highly speculative in the near future. So there we have biologyinsights.com's newly published article on ectolife and its first artificial womb facility. But I call bullshit. Because it seems that they got over these hurdles somehow, some way. They went and they did what they needed to do. That's why this is even being starting to be slow rolled out onto the public to further quell the outrage or possible backlash. You know, like a soft reveal. Oh no, this is just a concept video. This is not in the works. This is full-fledged facility is somewhere up operational and working, right? Let's just be real. People, let's be real. Because if you remember, there were certain individuals on other certain YouTube platforms that were saying in their interviews or in their social media accounts that they were clones, that they were manufactured somewhere, blah blah blah. And this facility right here is the place that they said that they were made, and they yelled out their manufacturing number and the procedures they went through and all of that, right? Clonate, pioneers in human cloning. Now, people ask and want to know, is this legal? This can't be in America. Well, this is in Canada, right? This is a facility outside of Canada. Let's just read their services page, right? Clonate is the world's leading provider of reproductive human cloning services. Eve, the first clone baby, was born December 26, 2002. Thanks to our team of highly skilled scientists, since then we've been able to help a number of patients have their own children through our cloning technology. Clone Aid can help you. If you're sterile, have lost hope of having a child you dream of, if you're homosexual and deeply desire a child who would carry your own genes, if you've just lost or are about to lose a beloved family member and would like to see an identical twin of that person begin a new life. What? Weird. If you're HIV positive and you want to have a child that would be your genetic twin without infecting either the baby or your partner with the virus. If you simply want to be cloned, whatever your reasons may be. Yeah, whatever you want. We'll take your money, right? Here's an overview of the process steps. First, you fill out the contact form. Then 2, one of our representatives will contact to discuss your situation and goals. Make sure you don't put us on blast. Our medical team will evaluate your case. If your application is approved, if you got the money, we will make arrangements to obtain cells from the donor cell, the person who is to be cloned. That doesn't say whether they know or not. That just says, yeah, you'll just give us the donor cells. Yeah. Number 4, over the next several weeks, the donor cells will be optimized for nuclear transfer, the quote-unquote cloning step of the process. Number 5, we then retrieve eggs from either the patient or an egg donor or proceed with the nuclear transfer using the donor cells taken earlier. Number 6, after several days, the clone embryo will be implanted into the patient's womb or that of the surrogate mother. Number 7, the patient or surrogate mother will carry the fetus to term through a normal 9-month pregnancy. Number 8, the baby, a genetic twin or clone of the cell donor, will be delivered and a new human life, that of the desired child, will begin. So this one doesn't provide any artificial womb technology, but they do all of the other scientific cloning stuff, and then they place the embryo inside a woman to go through a natural 9-month pregnancy through a human, or the patient or surrogate of your choosing, I assume, right? So we do know that there is some evidence of this type of technology and type of thinking and formatting of artificial, soulless, godless life is already in motion, and is probably very much further along technology wise than they will ever admit to us at this present time, right? So then I wanted to just get into something of a news article just to see what is being reported to the people that do not do further research like myself, right? So I got this Fox News article that was released on June 13, 2024. You see how everything's been spread out through the years? It's just little breadcrumbs still telling us that this is not possible. And then boom, they're going to be babies on sale. All we need is 2 hairs from each parent, right? But chilling fake of what? Chilling fake of birthing 30,000 babies in eerie artificial womb. Fake ectolife video depicting artificial womb facility resurfaces online. So it resurfaced again 2 years after it surfaced the first time, when the National Library of Medicine and National Center for Biotechnology Information released their article on March 24th, 2023, where they were kind of promoting and saying, like, insinuating that this technology is also pretty much possible right now. The intriguing yet fictional video Ectolife, the world's first artificial womb facility, has recently regained traction on social media, likely due to creator recently releasing another fake video on head transplants called Brain Bridge. This guy, man, yeah, you better make sure that this is a real person and not another Bitcoin creator, Nato Saki or whatever his name is that we've never seen, sparking discussions and raising questions about the Ectolife video's authenticity. However, both videos are conceptual presentations and do not depict an existing facility or technology. They seem to want to make sure they keep pointing that out to assure you that this is not something that is up and operational at this very moment without your consent as a human society, right? You just have all these NPCs running around you without you knowing, and then bam, just lay it on you. A thought-provoking concept, not reality. The Ectolife video, created by Hazem Al Ghalia, a science communicator. What is a science communicator? And filmmaker, presents a futuristic concept of an artificial womb facility that claims to offer a safe and pain-free alternative to natural pregnancy and childbirth. The video showcases rows of fetuses in clear, football-shaped pods inside a high-tech building, accompanied by a narrator describing the facility's capabilities. However, it is crucial to understand that the Ectolife video is a concept video and not a representation of an existing reality. Al-Jalaleya himself has clarified that the technology depicted in the video does not yet exist, and the video is marked as a concept near its end. Partial ectogenesis, a more realistic approach, while the concept of the complete ectogenesis, gestating a fetus entirely outside of the womb, remains a distant possibility. Researchers are making progress in the field of partial ectogenesis. In 2017, researchers at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia successfully gestated premature lambs in artificial womb-like biobags for several weeks. However, experts emphasize that these efforts are focused on potential life support options for premature human babies, not an alternative to full gestation. See, so they're already over there in Philly delivering premature lambs out of biobags, right? So don't sit up here and tell me that this technology does not exist in a facility like this could not be up and operational because the facility is Chop over there in Philly making lambs right now. Anyway, sparking discussions and ethical considerations. While the Ecto Life video may not depict a current reality, bullshit, it has succeeded in igniting discussions about the potential implications and ethical considerations surrounding artificial womb technology. As a scientific advancement continues, it is crucial to engage in thoughtful dialogue and address the complex ethical, legal, and social issues that may arise. That means the people rising up and burning that building down for creating fake humans, soulless, godless beings. As Halim Al-Ghalili stated, the main goal of creating the video was to ignite the discussion about an emerging technology and to highlight scientific progress in the field of ectogenesis, end quote. By presenting a thought-provoking concept, the video has sparked conversations that could shape the future development and regulations of artificial womb technology. That means that the government wants to control the population and kick out little soldier babies. Just my thoughts. Kirk's key takeaways, whoever Kurt is. While the resurfacing of the Ectolife videos has reignited discussions and raised eyebrows, it is important to separate fact from fiction. The video, though intriguing, is a conceptual presentation and not a depiction of an existing reality. However, its creator, Hazlam Ali seems to have had a knack for sparking conversation with his thought-provoking, embedded fictional videos. The recent release of Al-Ghalili's Brain Bridge video on head transplants has likely contributed to the renewed interest in the Ectolife concept. While these videos may not represent current scientific capabilities, bullshit, they serve as a reminder of the rapid pace of technological advancements and the ethical considerations that must accompany them. That means ethical considerations that your government and other high-level scientific facilities are already ignoring. As we continue to push the boundaries of what's possible, it is crucial to engage in thoughtful dialogue and address the complex ethical, legal, and social issues that may arise. The Ectolife video, though fictional, has succeeded in igniting discussions about the potential implications of artificial womb technology, and these conversations could shape the future development and regulation of such technologies. Ultimately, while we may not have an artificial womb facilities like Ectolife just yet, the video serves as a thought-provoking glimpse into what the future may hold and a reminder to approach such advancements with careful consideration and ethical responsibility. What are your thoughts on the implications of artificial womb technology? If a facility like the conceptual Ectolife, end quote, were to become a reality in the future, what potential concerns would you have? So, yeah. So I will put all the links to all the articles in the description at the end of this video. What are your thoughts, people? Is life imitating art? Is this an agenda that is slowly being unveiled and soft rollout onto the people to accept? Is this the new wave that they are trying to usher in, where they are fully in control of a simulated, godless, soulless beings made in football-shaped pods, pod babies, biobag babies, test tube babies? I know my man, oh man, what's his name? Robin Harris. I know my man Robin Harris is somewhere turning his grave right now. Like, they really went out here and made these test tube babies. So, it's your boy Hoom Boom. This is the Hold Up Show. Hashtag faith. Hashtag he saved me. Hashtag always the emotion. Hashtag the grass is always greener on God's side. Wishing y'all to have a blessed day. And what are your thoughts, man? What is the obsession with this? Peace.